Hey guys, Greatest Side here. Now, I of course wanted to talk real quick about what is owed to us. Now, it seems like, society has taught, quote unquote, taught some people, especially our younger, siblings, that life owes us things. But, sometimes I think that, sometimes, things happen to us and sometimes we might, feel like something should be owed to us so that we should get something out of it. Now, I actually don't always completely disagree with this. However, we do have a legal system that enables it to whether we should get owed something or not sometimes. Even though maybe sometimes we should maybe be owed something, sometimes we just aren't. For instance, do I think somebody that goes to college and pays like $100,000 in loans should be, subject to getting a job? Yes, I do think that somebody that pays that kind of money should be able to get something out of it. But the harsh reality is that that's just not how life works. Because in college, they will tell you that you're coming here to get a job, and that's what you're paying for. Now, that might be the reason why you're going to college in part is to get a job, right? And get paid enough, like a good enough, paying job, basically. Or if you're just trying to get into something that you're interested into or interested in. Ugh, I'm just mixing up words right now, aren't I? But the truth is, these companies do not owe you a job. When I went to college for welding and I got straight A's on, my class and was actually the best of my class, and I'm not just saying that to brag, I actually was. Besides, this area is kind of weird, but I somehow managed to be the best in my class, got straight A's, all that. But guess what? I didn't get a job in welding. I never got a full time job in welding. In fact, the traditional process of getting a job is not really sustainable like it used to be, I learned. And what I ended up doing to get work experience, just period, was I just went through a temp service to get that work experience. And then that's when I finally started getting, interviews and everything. Because when I was trying to call up people after going to college in welding, nobody was picking up, or sometimes they wouldn't even, see me to interview me. They would just tell me I didn't have the experience because I didn't have any work experience, in the field, you know. But beyond that, you know, just because something bad also, yeah, I get my words mixed up again. Sorry about that. So also, some people, of course, have really bad experiences in their life, right? Growing up myself, it wasn't exactly easy, and it wasn't a very good experience. But you see, nothing was necessarily handed to me in life. Now, that's not to say that I maybe had a couple other privileges that some people didn't have, but I seriously didn't have that many. In fact, I always think it's funny when I remember a couple of times there were like black people actually that tried telling me about my privileges as a white person, and I literally just told them what privileges. I mean, sure, I would love to have that white privilege that other white people have had. To be frank, I didn't have that kind of privilege that other white people have had. To be frank, I mean, I'm lucky that they even let me back into a regular school after I was homeschooled. To be frank, because they were trying to point me out like I was handicapped or something back when I was younger, like I had a learning disability or something. So you could say I didn't exactly have very many privileges at the time. Although I at the very least had good parents, I guess, thankfully. So I guess I'm lucky for that. But I didn't exactly have that many privileges growing up, to say the least. But just because my life growing up wasn't a very good experience, does that mean I'm entitled to anything? No. I mean, and some of the things I went through were like shitty. And some of the things that people did to me growing up, they probably should have went to jail or prison for. But guess what? 99% of them didn't. Should they have? I mean, yeah, definitely some of them. But did they? No. And did I get anything for it? No, I did not. The only thing I was able to do was move on and just get over it. Sometimes in life, that's all you can do is just deal with it. I learned. That's all you can do sometimes. And of course, I don't know why. I mean, I do know the reason why. Society teaches younglings, like they're entitled to something, as they grow up. But as I've gotten older and older and older, now I'm 30 years old, I've realized that that is just a bunch of bull. We are not entitled to anything. It's lots of times their choice whether or not they want to give us a job or give us something in exchange for something. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, and you know, in order for people, to obey laws, they have to be forced to obey these laws. For instance, I've noticed that for some reason, a lot of companies are starting to get away with not giving people breaks lately. And it's because they're not being forced to give these people breaks like they used to. I mean, I recently saw a video of somebody peeing in a jar or something while they're at the assembly line at a factory. And it's funny because they're all just like, oh, we're just going to punish this person. It's like, no, punish the company because they aren't giving this guy a piss break. And he's just subject to pissing in a jar. I mean, just think of, being in a workplace like that. That'd be fucking stupid. I practically would rather just be homeless than work at a place like that. I mean, sure, you might get paid to do your job and all that, but if some company's just getting away with it just because they could just be like, oh, yeah, that guy's disobeying and just hide it like they're doing nothing, well, then something's not right. You know what I mean? Something has to be done about stuff like that. However, the sad part of it is, again, for whatever reason, we are not owed anything. We're not owed a break. We're not owed the things that we get sometimes. And sometimes people are just given a job just because somebody knows them or somebody likes them, to be frank with you. Sometimes they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. I've actually noticed that at some places. Some of these people don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just know the right people, and so they got the position. Or maybe sometimes they just wanted somebody that wasn't white to come to the workplace. They're looking for, black people so that they don't look racist. So they give them a job, off the bat. But then, of course, they're still not white, so they don't let them move up in the workplace. I mean, I've seen that in workplaces too. I think it's full of shit, but it just happens because, legally speaking, they could just not give you a position as if you. It doesn't matter how hard you work at a workplace. Sometimes it's their choice whether you get to move up or not. I mean, it's shit. There are times when I've actually done really well at jobs. I come in every day. I be nice to people. And yet, for some reason, they will either not give me a full-time job or they will not let me move up in the workplace. And, it's bullshit. But that's just how life is. They are not legally obligated to give you anything in life. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous. They're not legally obligated to give you anything. But I think I've said enough. That being said, I guess I will end this video. But of course, if you want to talk more about this kind of stuff, put your comments and everything down there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.